So let's talk about lights. Whenever you're playing in a console, okay, in an Xbox One or a PlayStation 4, or maybe you're playing in your computer, you can be sure lighting is a very, very expensive operation, okay? Imagine we have this lighting here. Now imagine it is drawing several rays, okay? It's like it's shooting on several directions at the same time. And then each of these rays, they check if they hit something, and well, if they hit something, they're going to shade that something with a certain strength and also project a shadow in the floor. This is very expensive. So, on the other hand, it's something that makes the game to be realistic, to be more beautiful, because, well, lights exist and shadows exist. If you don't have a light in your game, it's going to be very, very odd. Okay, so let's simulate that. Okay, I just deactivate the light, and if I want to increase the light of the scene, a global lighting, I can just go to Window. I can open the lighting selection of the option here, and in Scene we can change the ambient intensity to a value we want. Okay, it looks weird. Okay, it's like it's old school lighting system, an old school 3D game. Okay, so it's just not very good. Okay, that's why we need to have a light enabled if you want to have something that is barely realistic. Okay, now notice that this directional light here, there is an interesting property. If we change the position of this light in whatever axis we want, notice that the intensity doesn't change and the shadows, they don't change. This happens because this is a directional light, so it pretty much works as the sun. Okay, it's so far away from the earth, it's so far away from the scene that it doesn't matter where it is standing. Okay, the projections is going to be, they're all going to be the same. Okay, what changes here is if we change the rotation of this light. Okay, so for example, if I select the rotating tool here in the top left, I go to my scene window and I start rotating the light. Notice how the shading changes. Okay, if I move the light different directions, the shadows are going to be in different places. Okay, and you notice that if I move the light like this, I can see a dark side for this cube. Okay, there is one side that this cube is well lit, and the other one it's a bit darker because that's pretty much the direction where the sun is hitting the cube. Okay, and you can even see in the floor that if I move the sun to a certain angle, we can barely see a metallic effect here, almost like the sun is setting. And you notice that in earlier versions of Unity, we can even see the sun in this default skybox. So, well, notice that we can change the sun position to whatever we want, okay, this directional light position to whatever we want, but the thing that matters is the rotation here, okay? It's like we are changing the sun, and if we rotate it like this, then the scene becomes completely dark, okay? It's like we are in the night now, so we can't see our game. Okay, so that's pretty much how the directional lights work. Imagine it's the sun. Okay, that's pretty much it for this directional light. But we also have other kinds of lights. Okay, the other one that is more common is spot. Okay, so it's going to work like this. It's well, it's a spotlight. It's going to be rendered in a certain direction. Okay, so let me try to position it on top of this cube, and just a little bit of rotation like this, and we can change things like the range of this light, so how far it gets, the angle, so how wide it's going to be, okay, and also the intensity, if it's going to be strong or not. So this spotlight is interesting to give some sort of, let me see, to feature an element in the game. Okay, so if we want to give attention to the cube and not the entire plane, we can just add a spotlight here that is going to be aiming at this cube. Okay, we can see it very clearly in this case. Okay, and we can also change the color. Okay, so if we want the spotlight to be something blue like this, okay, a bit mysterious, or if we want to add red to give a sense of danger, we can just use our creativity to change this color to something that is going to be interesting for us. Okay, so let's go back to the directional light, and the other one that we have here that we can use is point. Okay, now this is the simplest of them all. Okay, the point light is well, basically a light bulb. Okay, so it's a point that is going to project light into all directions. Okay, and you can even see if you go far away from this point light in the scene window, notice that there's a yellow sphere. This is the range of this point light, so you can decrease the range of it to make it well, closer to the exact point where it is. And as we use with the other light, with the spotlight, we can change intensity as well, so we can make this strong, and it's going to look like this. Okay, this is, well, a spotlight. It's like a light bulb. And later we can change how strong or how weak the shadows are going to be. Okay, notice that if I use 1, we can see the shadow very well for this cube. But if we change it to 0, for example, the shadow completely disappears. So this is something that we can use to make this game as we want, okay? And again, notice we are just experimenting here. We are trying different types of lights. We tried point, spot, we tried direction, okay? There are several different things that you can do. You can just play around with these, change positions, change rotations, change scale of the objects that you have selected to achieve the effect that you want. Okay, so be curious and experiment a lot.